you see anything encouraging yesterday from Raheem in terms of cutting or the things he needs to do to play, or is it too early for you to even know?
Through the walkthrough we had yesterday, I mean, it's like he was working on his stuff, but I mean, like ultimately, like yesterday for us anymore is we're getting ready for the game with all the guys, everyone who's working through things. It's more about for us the mental side of the preparation for the game and what we're trying to do. So today's really our day where we'll get on the grass and be able to do things. So, but when it comes time to the end of the year, it's a process for every guy that's working through things. You know, it's you can feel very optimistic with the guy all the way through Friday, and then all of a sudden, you know, how Friday goes, you know, dictates a lot of our stuff. So for us, it's, you know, 3-day process to get to the game, and today was the most important day as we focus on our work on the grass.
With Jalen, is he a guy where, so long as he can't make it worse, 80% of Jalen is better than maybe 100% of somebody else? Is that what you think about him as a player?
I mean, it's hard to like put like exact percentages on performance and stuff like that when guys feel they're good enough to play, gone through the process with our training room and you know understand the game plan and can execute it. You know, we feel fully confident in those guys being able to execute. So, I mean, it's not like you look at it's not that. It's like you have a process to get the players ready for the game, where they feel confident, they feel healthy enough to go. And when guys feel good enough to go and they can make an impact and do their job, then we have full confidence in the situation we're going to put them in our attack.
Coach, did that change the offensive game?
Bless you.
Raheem Mostert and Jalen Waddle both out.
I wouldn't really say it's not like we drastically go, well, we can't do this or do that. It just makes us have to, you know, knowing with certain variables where we maybe move guys in different spots or have, you know, maybe a different concept that someone does maybe a little bit better if they're going to be potentially up in their place. But I mean, there's not like all of a sudden you go, well, we can't. You remove part of your offense. You more of just go, okay, how do we, you know, maybe move a guy here, or you move maybe, you know, Tyreek to another side, or maybe we, you know, use a different personnel group. So I think it's just more of how you shift things, and you try and always put guys in the best position. So as we're going through the week, we make sure we have, you know, different concepts, different things, attack different parts of the defense for what our guys do their best.
What does the Bills' defense do uniquely, if anything?
They play very well together. They're a very well-connected defense, well-coached. They understand what they're defending, how they're going to defend it. They understand their opponent. So overall, they just do a very good job just knowing their system and the intent. You know, similarly to what we try and do. You teach the why and the how, all right, and then you have a plan for offense. You have a plan for attack. They have a plan for the defense. So you see a very well-coached team, guys that play hard, and it'll be a very good challenge for us on Sunday night.
And Frank, given circumstances yesterday, are you expecting Tyreek to be back out there with you today?
Yeah, how about all that, right? I mean, it's first thing that goes through my mind was like, I hope everyone's okay and everything goes well. Even my got back and my son was like, I didn't realize the whole intent and everything. But yeah, I mean, we'll work through all that. I mean, it seems like everything was fine, and I mean, he's the best. I mean, just as far as how he goes through the game, his competitive nature, how he pushes things. I mean, you know, I'm sure with him it's going to be everything's going to work itself out, and today we'll figure everything out. We're going to go for the game. But I'm just glad, like, one of those situations, it's one of those where, like, first thing, you know, you find out, make sure everyone's okay. So it's one of those things that took me back to fire safety classes in elementary school. Like, how does that happen? All right. But, yeah, I mean, I'm just glad for him and everything. It'll work itself out.
Right there, there's been steady stats for Julian Hill. Has the quality of blocking that he's given you been at such a level that he's very much in your mind in terms of a role, whether it's what it's been or expanded?
Yeah, just his physicality. I mean, his commitment to his process to go to the game and getting better each week. I mean, he's really done a good job from when, getting here in the spring to now, and each week he's growing. He asks excellent questions. I mean, that's been something like, I've noticed about him when you have a young player who's asking very advanced questions. So that his process to get to that question, you're like, wow, you've really thought about all those things, and that's kind of how he's played. He loves playing the game. He loves playing physical, and then always with the tight end group, big physical guys with complete skill set is always huge. So we've been very pleased with him so far.
Has Smythe improved his receiving skills?
It's not like he's improved him. I think it's just more opportunities. And when you have, the biggest thing is when you have the guys that you'd say initially are, quote unquote blocking skill sets. It's like sometimes they're overlooked in the passing game, and they can find those holes in between zones, and they can catch it and get yards. And guys who are physical after contact, get even more yards off of that. So I think it's more opportunities. And I mean, you can't say enough about the guy. What a great part of our program. I mean, just an unbelievable, tough-minded person who, is just one of the guys that you love coming and coaching because the way he approaches everything is so professional.
Frank, as an offshoot of that, is increased receiving numbers last few weeks a byproduct move? You guys consciously wanting to get him more involved, or a case of taking what the defense is giving you?
A lot of it's just what the defense is giving you, because the guys are in position as you deploy them in the concepts, and sometimes if you're the primary, all right, you get covered, and other times the ball can get checked down to other options. So I just think it's more of as the coverage and we go through the attack. Sometimes when guys defend the deep part of the field, they're going to give you the underneath part of the zones, and especially last week, they were trying to defend the deep part of the field, and the underneath stuff sometimes becomes open, and guys like Durham thrive in that area, and that's where Alec as well, and then all the tight ends. It's like you catch a check down in between zones, or you catch a vertical in between zones, and you can stay on the move. That's where you can get some good production.
You've had 3 games now where you've needed to win a shootout. LA to start the season, Buffalo, and then last week. One of those times the offense was there the entire duration. The second time it was there, and then there was the drop off. What's going to take if you have to win a shootout against Buffalo to make sure the 60 minutes is to the level the offense needs to be?
Well, it's a good question, because I don't think really you go in with you can never go in a mindset of this is going to be what's necessary. So it's more of you approach each moment like each moment is the most important. All right, if you look in the entirety of a situation, your mind, the natural human self will take you to too many conclusions and too many possibilities, and then that leads you to maybe think you need to do more. But in reality, is you just stay in the moment. You realize you maximize this moment. You're so in tune to what is necessary now, and then stack them. So the minute that you start thinking, like, I go back to college, like I'm getting a C in a class, and all of a sudden I need to get an A on this exam to save myself because I don't want to hear all my dad giving me hell. And then all of a sudden you start pressing, you start thinking about things, and all of a sudden you come out and you get a B minus. You're like, damn, like, because all of a sudden you've made a result for yourself, as opposed to it's like, no, what do you really need to do? If I want to get that result, I focus on making sure each moment is at my best and making sure that I stay now, because the result you seek will come through the process of deliberately staying in the now. And I think that's the most important thing that we try and strive around here, is just our intent to each day, each moment. And I think that allows you for in those, you bank those reps for the future. If every moment you're playing is of that intent, the highest level of competition, do you take that to each day, each moment of what you're doing? Because this run play might not seem like a whole lot, but then what if we called in a game and it got 30 yards? Did you all play together or something? You know what I mean? I think that is how you approach those moments. And I think that's just something that I know Mike really strives with all of us and on us on offense. Stay in the moment.
If I could, was there a common thread between the Buffalo and the Baltimore games that you guys didn't meet that moment when you it got too big maybe for some of your guys?
I don't think it got too big. It's just like you can't. It's easy to sit back and like, what's the correlation between the two times and try and find the similarities where there's different variables at play. Like that was a different point in the season, coming off of a huge win versus Denver, and then now this week at Baltimore was a different set of circumstances where it's like, as we go through the different games and different moments, it's like, learning for them, because, now as we're getting into this game and hopefully the future, it's just going to be now, right, staying with that, making sure that all the things we've learned throughout the season we can maximize one at a time. But, yeah, I mean, that's the hard part. It's like you don't know what is going to be expected on Sunday. You can't forecast it. All you can forecast is my individual job and making sure I maximize it as we go forward in the game.
Frank, how is Rob Pogba noting upticks in participation?
It's like, I mean, the thing is, it will be down to everyone. Like, you feel really good about everyone and their progression towards trying to make it back to the game. The big thing will be is that it's the summation of the whole week as you go. But like, we feel very optimistic with everyone in their build-up, and today and tomorrow will be the most important days to see if we can get him available for Sunday. But he's been working his tail off to try and get back, and we're hopeful.
A little change of pace question, but I'm doing something on what people overcome in their careers to reach their level of success. Anything you look at when you look at your path to here that you've had to overcome or to master to get to where you are?
I mean, it's one of those where you could say, I mean, I just feel so fortunate so many times. It's like I never really looked at anything as I had to overcome something. I just kind of, like, my whole life has been trying to, like, I walked on to college. I had to prove my worth there, and then worked out really well. And then, my senior year I was a team captain and, one of the greatest teams at our university. And that relationship I had with our head coach allowed me to get a graduate assistant job when our O-line coach left to go to Arizona. I got very fortunate, got the job at my alma mater. And then I got to work the second year on defense, which was invaluable because so many bases of what you learn. I went to a small 1AA school, Butler, for 4 years. A lot of people would say that, I left Division I, but it was the greatest thing ever because I didn't have the hard recruiting schedule that the Division I guys had, so it allowed me to go and claw and scratch my way into NFL buildings and just go watch tape and learn, ask questions, and then me being a nuisance, developed a relationship with the guys in New Orleans. And when they had an opening, they asked me if I would take a $10,000 pay cut to come stuff binders and break down tape and all that. And I was like, I'll do it for free. Like, you kidding me? And then I was fortunate enough to work for staff that 2 months prior to that had won the Super Bowl. And then you go through it and went to Chicago and, we were not successful in the win-loss category, but I met great guys who I learned so much of how to teach people, reach people, what works, what doesn't. Go to Oakland, it was kind of like put it together. And then like 3 years of Pro Bowlers. It was, and then left to go to LA and unbelievable, like Rashawn and Corey and Matt and O'Day and Storm. And all the guys, like, I couldn't say enough about, the year before they were starting over, really, 4 or 5 line spots were open. It's like, how are we going to rebuild this thing, do all that stuff? And I was like, I don't know, we'll figure it out. And then we get here, it's just, I don't know, it's like, what do you look at to overcome? I don't know, it's just kind of from the beginning. Like, my high school coach, I asked too many questions. Like, him and I didn't see eye to eye on some things, and that could have been adversity. I just kind of look at all of it as, like, I'm the luckiest guy ever. Like, any situation that arises, it's like, stay in the moment. Like, how can I maximize now? It's not see the challenge of it, it's see the opportunity within it. And I think that's just been kind of my way the whole way. It's like, now, that hill looks pretty tall. I'm like, yeah, but this is easy. Let's go up this part first, and then we'll get up to that when we get to it. So, I don't know. I guess I had challenges, but I never looked at it all as I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for every one of them.
How important has Mike been for your career?
This is the last question, guys. I gotta get.
Okay. working with Mike has been like a dream come true for me, just because it's like when you watch someone prior their body of work and you just see like from afar like what he's done, and then be able with the same agent Richmond Flowers, he connected us in the summertime, and then be able to work with him has like been awesome, because it's so many principles that you believe in philosophically and with football we do every day, and we just have such a natural alignment on the way we see so many things. That's why our communication is so easy, and it's been awesome. And to be able to implement on a grandiose scale with him in the program, I couldn't ask for anything better. So, it's basis of our program, adversity is an opportunity, and this is an unbelievable opportunity. And I couldn't thank Mike every day for allowing me to be a part of it.